Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How's everybody doing? I am back, ladies and gentlemen, and I am excited to be streaming again. I'm just finishing one thing. All right, I'm here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here I am. I am back. Oh, yes, oh, yes. Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how's the throat, my guy? It's okay. We're recovering. I'm still slightly sick, but it is what it is.
We all love her.
Nah, what? Twitch, chill. Any chance for a movie night tonight? No. I already did a movie night. I do movie nights on Wednesday. I probably will never do more than one movie night a week. Will Dakota Fanning is an Equalizer 3? Is Equalizer 3 out yet, or is it in production? Oh, Equalizer 3 has yet to come out. That's amazing. So, Dakota will reprise her role with Denzel from Equalizer. That's really fun. Hold on, guys. I'm fixing something really quick. There's always something to do. Weep. All right. Guys, I literally just came from a show rehearsal and plopped down 2 seconds ago, so I'm just trying to fix some things. I'm behind the 8 ball.
9 months, baby.
Los Angeles traffic has put me in the blender. Thank you for the 9 months. I'd like to donate this Spotify ad for my Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. What a strange night that was. Or way to end the night that was for the Game Awards. I didn't watch the Game Awards, but that was about as unusual as it gets, man. What the?
Oh yeah, wow, that's very cool.
Meet the big boy win.
Big boy win. Thank you, Crocweaver. All right, 2 seconds, guys, and then I'll be. My attention will be undividedly yours.
Oh yeah, wow, that's very cool.
Okay, and then last thing. Bee ba ba bo boo. Okay. Here I am. Boro King, thank you so much. Guys, first of all, I just want to say tomorrow on the channel, we will have something really fun. I am doing Pog Picks with Caroline and Sear on this channel. And we're giving away $6,000 worth of stuff. So make sure you come in and support tomorrow. I'm blasting through Pog Picks tomorrow with Sear and Caroline. It should be a lot of fun. And I think we're giving away some Beats headphones, some clothing. Oh my God in heaven. KFC's new Double Down hot dog is real.
Bless.
And it's absurd. Oh, I forgot to get rid of one alert there. Boom. Okay. Where is... Hold on. One second. Holy smokes, there's always so much to do. Okay. Everything should be fixed now. All right. Here's the double down hot dog.
Oh yeah, wow, that's very cool.
We've
$19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Tamahara. Gosh, being sick and doing all this stuff. We have mentioned the double down quite a bit on this stream as probably one of the most unholy abominations to ever hit the food world. Obviously, Chef's Club makes a lot of food that looks like the double down. But now... No! God, help me! KFC Philippines unveiled the Double Down Dog, a cheese-covered wiener wrapped in fried chicken in lieu of a bun. Monday at select Philippines locations, according to the chain's Facebook. Oh my God. Last October, the Colonel unveiled the Zinger Double Down King in South Korea. A bacon top beef patty sandwich, a burger, beef patty sandwich, between two fried spicy filet buns. My God. Is it vegan? This looks at least a little bit more composed than the hot dog that is just sloppily wrapped. It looks like they just tucked some sauce in there too. What has science done? Has science gone too far? Do you think God hides in heaven because he's ashamed of what he's made? Jesus wept. Your scientists were too bothered with whether or not they could, and not if they should. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Amazing. Released today. What was released today?
Hey, I'm Gavin. I'm the solo developer behind 2-Star Games, and I'm currently making Choo Choo Charles.
Choo Choo Charles?
Drained over time, and then use it to fight an evil spider train named Charles.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, wow, that's very cool.
What up from New Jersey, sup Chad and Will? Love it.
Wait,
Bring
did this come out?
Shout out to the Neff Cord. We've been doing movies every day. Be well and bless you.
It's an open world horror game where you navigate an island in an old train, upgrade it over time, and then use it to fight an evil spider train named Charles.
Oh my God. Charles the Spider Train.
If you pump enough lead into his face, that'll probably encourage him to run off and find something else to eat.
Wow.
You have one goal above all else, and that's to summon Charles to a 1v1 and fight him to the death. To do that, you'll need to explore the open world, looting abandoned areas and completing missions for the locals to gain powerful new weapons and scraps that you can use to upgrade your...
Where is this man's shirt?
And damage.
Where is this man's shirt?
You'll need to leave the relative safety of your train and venture out on foot.
Oh no.
This is where things get really dangerous, with Charles constantly roaming around looking for his next meal, and camps of shotgun-wielding cultists looking for someone to feed to him.
All right, we might play this tonight, but I'm gonna keep it completely a buck with you. We will probably do it after the branded segment. I don't know if the good folks at Spotify would really understand the brilliance that is Choo Choo Charles. That looks really fun. Okay. Speaking of our branded segment tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by the amazing folks over at Spotify, which I'm really excited about. I use Spotify daily, and as you know, I've cooked you up a playlist. We cannot listen to that playlist on stream, unfortunately, because of DMCA laws. But right as the stream ends, I have a really fun playlist of some of my top 100 songs throughout the year that I will share with you guys. Some ones that you already know I listen to, some deep cuts, but I'll be sharing that in my Discord and on stream at the very end. So I'm excited about that. You guys can also type Spotify, !Spotify, or click the link in chat or the panel below to discover your Wrapped 2022 today. So the Wrapped function of Spotify is very fun. It basically, if you have Spotify, will take you through what you've been listening to this year and kind of give you a Myers-Briggs of your listening habits. And also, I've used the Wrapped function before, which is why I loved this sponsor, because there were a lot of songs that I would like keep on repeat, and then they would fall out of my playlist, and then I would go back at the end of the year and be like, oh my God, I absolutely love that. One of which is this year for me was John Summit's Human. I listened to Human by John Summit probably 1,000,000 times at here, just a little. You guys know it. I won't play the whole thing, but I probably played it 1,000,000 times while I was at EDC, and I hadn't listened to it since, and it made its way back in my playlist afterward, and I was like, oh dang, this is good, and I started listening to it at the gym again.
Oh yeah, wow.
Find out your top songs of the year.
I was at the brink of exhaustion
Spotify
last
Wrapped.
night on my weekly run,
Sure.
and Kickstart My Heart came up on my
Nice.
Spotify playlist. That song pushed me to run a whole extra mile. I understand how those shirts rip so easily.
Yep, now you get it. Kanye was in your top 3 songs. I was thanking God that I didn't have any Kanye in my top played music, because I have to share my my Spotify Wrapped with you guys, and man, that makes for a weird branded segment if I have famous Nazi Kanye West in my most listened to songs. Thank God he wasn't. Anyway, !Wrapped to fire a full screen celebration, guys. If you pump full screen Wrapped into the chat, it'll take over my screen, and that's some good stuff. We'd appreciate that. Spotify Wrapped this year is all about emerging of culture. Hey Drive. H-Drive? What is HY Drive? I don't know that word. H-Drive? What is H-Drive? Is that a word? H-Drive? Anyway, emerging of culture, something where everything is happening all at once. We now struggle with how to show up in life. As we climb out of our safe bubbles and dust off our nice clothes, we suddenly question, what is even in style anymore? There is no clear direction in fashion, music, or taste coming out of the pandemic. The wildest, most raw, and unedited versions, there's this takeover right there, of ourselves are emerging as unpoetic, unapologetic joy, and it's all worth celebrating. Guys, that's a very honest assessment. You guys know that one of my top listened to this year was Cream Soda which certainly I don't think you can quantify it as anything, but who knows? Get Wrapped share cards. We want to see what's on your Wrapped. Share your top songs, artists, and podcasts of the year. Compare them with the community. Share your predictions before being Wrapped. Ah, yes. I will predict that almost everybody has Drake in their Wrapped. And questions for viewers. Okay, great. Bada boom, bada zing. Cool. So first of all, we'll take a look at my Wrapped. I was a little surprised by my Wrapped, but let's take a look right here and see what my topped or what topped my playlist this year right here. Boom. Oh, check Discord. Hold on. Oh. All right, well, we got some time before we're going to look at my Wrapped. So, we can do what we usually do and pull a little pud. What's up with you guys? How are you doing on this Friday? I tried listening to Drake's entire discography and didn't add one song to a playlist. That's crazy. Drake has good music. It's not everything that people listen to, but Drake has good music. About to lift some metal? Good for you. That's what I want to do afterward. You rooting for the Knicks? Didn't they just play last night? Didn't they just play the Hawks last night and win?
Oh yeah, wow, that's
I'm snacking. Good for you. Let's go. Thank you. I've been really struggling with getting back on exercise and healthy eating grind, to be honest. Sag. Trying to finish the year strong is so hard sometimes. I'm going to be honest. When it's cold outside, it's giga hard to eat well. There's something about cold weather or inclement weather that always just makes me want to binge and pass out. I always just lean on the side of like pack your house. Like for me, diets always start in the grocery store. Right? If you have no food in the house, you're going to make bad decisions. You're going to order fast food or you're going to go grab something nearby you. And if you have crappy food in the house, you're going to eat it. So when you go grocery shopping, like overbuy, but only buy good stuff. Only buy food that even if you binge it, won't make you feel like trash. That's always my advice in winter. I think you're a great person. Thank you so much. I'm a huge fan of like the adult Lunchables now. Those things slap. Oh wait, Drake is a 100T investor. I forgot. I'm going to keep it a buck. Even if Drake wasn't a 100T investor, I still think Drake makes good music. Listen, have I liked as many of his recent albums as some of his older stuff? Not at all. I think some of his recent songs are pretty medular. But Nothing Was the Same is such a good album. The entire album is just really, really good. They make adult Lunchables? Yes. They make a Lunchable with like a Triscuit and white cheddar and like lean turkey, and it's pretty good. Pre or post sliding on Millie Bobby. Dude, I got to keep that in perspective, right?
Yeah, wow, that's cool.
One pick for the king.
I feel like every famous person now is doing terrible stuff. Like we were going through, like even Tom Hanks went to, a certain man's island who shall remain nameless during a branded stream. But even Tom Hanks is pretty, questionable at these points. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
That's very cool.
Cat Crockett, thank you so much. He did? Yeah, he did. He also fired Henry Winkler as the director from a movie he was working on. He got in a huge fight with Henry Winkler, and everybody kind of said that he was a maniac. Yeah. Yep. Absolute. I mean, something had to happen for Chet Hanks to exist, right? Chet Hanks doesn't just develop in a vacuum. Something had to go wrong. Okay? Something had to go wrong there. Okay? No one's saying it. I'm saying it. Everybody's acting like Chet Hanks crawled out of, like, you know, the primordial goo somewhere. That man was raised. Anyway, what else is going on with you guys? It's just mild neglect. Tom is a good guy. I'm sticking to it. There you go. You gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere. The primordial goo. Even Keanu? No, Keanu is the one celebrity that is completely above any suspicion. The man still rides the subway. What a gem. Have you ever seen the trailer of We're All Going to the World's Fair? I actually saw We're All Going to the World's Fair. I actually saw that movie. Very interesting
Caught
film.
an improv video with Ock. It's refreshing to see monster influencers dipping toes in some yes and culture. Great work.
Nice.
Wow.
It was actually not with Ock. It was with OPF. OTV, not OTK. Often get confused. OPF, not OK. Both amazing groups of people, though. I had so much fun with that video. See Bones and all yet? No, but I did watch Something in the Dirt last night from the guys who made the movie The Endless, and I really, really liked it. I think it's a film that came out a year too late. If you've never heard of these guys or the movie The Endless, The Endless is incredible. It's a movie from 2017. It's this film duo that basically cook up these like indie kind of low budge films. It's these two guys. They do like a lot of Lovecraftian cosmic stories, and The Endless is incredible. It's basically about two guys that go back to, one of the guys is raised in a cult, and they go back to the cult for him to make amends and like face his childhood, and they end up stuck there. And I won't say any more than that, but it's an incredible movie. And so I wanted to see their new movie. It's called Something in the Dirt. And Something in the Dirt is a movie that some of you will absolutely adore, and some of you will hate this movie with a burning passion. And I think both takes are kind of fair. I was really intrigued by it. Something in the Dirt is a movie, again, I think that came out a year too late because they made this film with a 12-man crew. Party, dude, Mikey, thank you so much. They made this movie with a 12-man crew during the pandemic, and the plot of the film is very simple, but the point of the film is very complex. So you are hitting the ending in you're hinting that the ending is shit. No, not at all. So the plot of the movie is very simple. A guy moves into an apartment that's been vacant for 10 years, and he and his neighbor find an artifact that seems to be able to affect reality, specifically light waves in a very weird way. And from there, they decide that they are going to make a documentary. So that's the plot, right? Now, the theme of the movie and the story it tells is much more complex. The theme and story of the movie deal with two men that are about to turn 40, and they're basically approaching their own morality and their inability to like realize any kind of success in their life. And so they pour all of their efforts into making this documentary that they think is going to make them famous. However, as the documentary unfolds, you're made aware of that not everything you're seeing might not be the genuine article of how it occurred as it happened. And it becomes kind of this tangled web of two men that are very heavily entrenched in kind of isolation, COVID conspiracy theory, bleeding their way into how they perceive these supernatural events. And it's a really interesting story. But it's one of those stories that makes you question everything you see. And sometimes with those non-conclusive stories, I think people get agitated because they go, what did I just see? What of that is true? What's the true story? And I think when you watch this movie, Something in the Dirt, the fact of the matter is you will never get the whole story. You will never get the true story. You will only get what these characters present you. You just described most of their movies. No, I think The Endless is much more of a concrete path. And I don't think you ever question if what you're seeing is reality. I think Something in the Dirt, you're constantly questioning whether you're seeing something that's in the reality of the film or a retelling that is embellished or something that is a complete lie. So it's pretty good. Have you ever seen The Watcher? I think I have. Oh yes, The Watcher. Oh my God, this series was very frustrating.
Oh yeah, wow, that's very cool.
The Watcher is really interesting because isn't it based on like a single letter that was sent to a residence? Spinzanti, thank you so much. I'm gonna message Sear real quick that he can come over. The Watcher was really interesting. The Watcher is based on a letter that was written to a family in a house, and the letter is very cryptic. Sear in call? What? Sear and Callie, yes. Multiple letters. I don't know if it actually was multiple letters in the real story. I think it was only a single letter in reality, and then they built out the subsequent letters. I can't remember that for sure. But anyway, it's about this letter or letters that were sent to this family where it's like, I am the Watcher. Your house is very something. I see your kids. They're very cute. And they made this series, and it was a frustrating series. It was a frustrating series because in order to like draw it out to a number of episodes, a lot of times the actions of the protagonists felt very inconclusive to a point where you were like very frustrated. They'd be like tracking down a lead or talking to someone, and they would just like let it go. And you're just kind of like, no normal human would actually do this. How could you just leave a mystery like this hanging in the reeds? However, this show was so enormously popular that it's going to get a second season. I don't know how you can possibly milk a second season out of this story, but they're going to go for it. And it's very Netflix of them to try. So we will see. It might be a complete miss, but who knows? It was suspenseful. Yes, but I'm going to be honest. It was suspenseful in the same way that this show was suspenseful. I don't know if any of you have ever watched The Sinner. But The Sinner is another show that I have watched that basically, I think these shows suffer from what I like to call lost syndrome. Where basically show creators and writers and producers realize it's easier to create a mystery than it is to explain a mystery. And so basically they'll create these situations where they will put 100 really interesting threads into a plot line. And basically like 90% of them are MacGuffins. They're red herrings. They exist only to create mystery and they don't lead anywhere. And I think these lead to shows that are enormously front-loaded. And I think enormously front-loaded shows work really well in a binge era, because basically the idea is like, oh, I will binge the first 5 episodes of this and it will set the hook, right? It'll be like, oh my gosh, here's this incredible mystery. And then as you get to the end of the series, you're like, oh, none of that meant anything. And the resolution was actually fairly simple and concrete and stupid compared to the absolute mental gymnastics and kind of plot armor that they had to create to develop a mystery like this. And I think those shows and movies ultimately disappoint. I think they do a very good job at bringing people in, and then people usually go away from it and are like, oh, that was kind of whatever. Any thoughts on White Lotus? I fucking love White Lotus. So White Lotus is in a lot of ways kind of similar, but they focus on character so much that a lot of times in White Lotus, the mystery really takes a back seat to how compelling the characters are, right? When you're watching White Lotus, you're not the entire time wondering about the outstanding mystery, which is who died, right? Because at the beginning of every season of White Lotus, they reveal that someone died at the end of the season. And you're not just sitting there like, oh, I wonder who died. You're more like sitting there like, oh my gosh, these character relations and these tense situations that they've created are so vibrant and so intense that I'm enthralled by these really weird people and what they're doing. So I love White Lotus. Mike White is really, really good. I also think there is a amazing humor to White Lotus that is pretty robust throughout. You've been asked 100 times, but did you check out Andor? Nope. Still haven't watched it. Still am not gonna watch it. I do not care. Stan Chera, thank you so much.
Cool face.
Thank you. Thank you for saying I'm the man. No, I mean, I've talked about Andor a lot. I just don't care about a Star Wars prequel. That I already know what happens. I already know what happens before Star Wars Andor. I already know what happens after Star Wars Andor. I already know what happens probably during Star Wars Andor because I've had all those plot elements. I don't really care if it's a good story within the Star Wars universe. I don't care. I basically said full-throatedly and loudly that it's just a good political drama. No, it's probably not. It's probably a very mid political drama set in the Star Wars universe, right? Like, is it as good as Billions or Succession or Veep? No, probably it's not as good as any of those shows, but it's in the Star Wars universe, so people are like, it's a political thing. No, it's not. Who cares? I'm going to be honest. I've said this many times. I guess I have to say this once per stream. I was once a gigantic Star Wars fan. I literally went to the premiere of the new Star Wars movies in costume when the first of the new trilogy came out. I went with all my friends who went in costume. We rented out a theater. I planned my month around going to this premiere, and I was a gigantic Star Wars fan. I would even, you know, cape for the prequels that were an abomination. But I finally have gotten to the point now where I am no longer a Star Wars fan. They lost me. And I don't feel like supporting Disney or Star Wars or anything in that universe just because it's Star Wars anymore. I'm done with that point in my fandom. I might watch it on a plane one day, is the best I'll give you. If I am on a plane and it's in there, I might watch it. Maybe Gnish 1, thank you so much for the Prime. What about the new game? No, nothing Star Wars for me. I'm pretty much done. I'm pretty much done. I'm not going to lie. I will give KOTOR a chance just because, I respect your viewpoint, though. I will say it leans far away from the typical Star Wars. Then I'd care even less. If, guys, look at me. Listen to what I'm saying. If your number one selling point of your Star Wars show is it's not that Star Wars, something has gone wrong. If you are selling it to me as, dude, did you watch that new Star Wars project? It's hardly Star Wars. What are we doing? What has happened? You're really going to enjoy that new Star Wars project. You'll barely recognize that it's Star Wars. Nah, you're missing their point. No, you're missing my point. I do not care to indulge that universe anymore. Ever again. I'm done. It's burnt out. It's bad. Period. I'm not going back. Okay, I don't care if my ex wants to take me out to dinner. They're still bipolar. Okay? I'm not getting back in that bad relationship. Your opinion? Yes, it is my opinion. I literally have said this a million times. I did not start the conversation about Andor. Every night, there are a legion of missionaries with your button-down white shirts and your Book of Mormons banging on my door going, have you seen Andor yet? Have you watched Andor? Because Star Wars fans can't let go. I am glad you still enjoy Star Wars. I am over the moon that you still enjoy Star Wars. I'm so happy. Please go enjoy Star Wars on your own. Star Wars is now McDonald's, guys. Do not eat it with pride. Know that we are all judging you as you shovel that Big Mac and 20-piece McNuggets down your face in public. We know it's killing you. It's okay if you want to go enjoy those things, but know that everybody around you looks at you like a slob now. All right? That's just the facts. The Star Wars trilogy was the worst trilogy ever made. Period. The worst big budget trilogy ever made. By light years. It was so embarrassingly bad that, like, I wish they would load it into a rocket and shoot it into a galaxy far, far away. I love Star Wars. I was one of the biggest fans. KOTOR is probably one of my favorite games. Top 3 games of all time. The original trilogy was insane. I went to the premiere in costume. I cannot emphasize this enough.
Love you, Will Neff.
But it is a brand that has been wrung out more than wrong the Godfather series. You're saying the Godfather trilogy is the worst trilogy in history because there's one bad film in it and the other 2 are considered the greatest films in cinema? You're so off base, it hurts me to even address you. It hurts me to even put words into a sentence right now. Listen, guys, okay, let me put it this way. I'm going to be real with you. I get very excited about Star Wars because it's great content, right? People love when I scream. Know that I'm not screaming at you. This is just an over-the-top take for the sake of content. B, I am a Star Wars fan. And part of the reason I'm so upset with Star Wars is because I am a fan. And honestly, I feel used. I feel tucked up, taken out, and touched in public. Okay? Because every time I see that Disney is charging $10,000 a night to stay in the Star Wars hotel, or they are just pumping out soulless iterations, I feel those things because this is a product that I carried with pride. I still remember when my cousin gave me some of his original figures in the Darth Vader helmet. I felt like I was vibrating as a kid. And now this thing that was so important to me, I feel like has been so bastardized that it is beyond the point of redemption. And part of my vitriol is linked to the fact that I love Star Wars. When you break up with someone, that love turns to hate. And that's where I am. I am at the tail end of a Star Wars breakup. And that's just how I feel. I do not say that you should not enjoy Star Wars. I do not. I think if you can still enjoy Star Wars, then go enjoy yourself. Knock yourself out. Have fun with it. It is meant to be fun. It is meant to be a fun experience. It is meant to be fun escapism. I just feel really bad about what happened to Star Wars post Disney. I really do. So you just don't like the newer stuff? Listen, I think that Visions was really good. And I think that The Mandalorian was really good. I think that everything that has been made in that timeline is like horrible. All right, it's 1,000 degrees in here. I'll be right back. Andor is the best Star Wars. Hey, that's a shame I'll never see it. Guys, if I watch Andor now, and Andor is anything but an absolute masterclass, I am going to come on here and I am going to act a fool. Because you guys have built this thing up like it is the most unmissable television event since Game of Thrones season 2. Like this is crazy. I have never had something recommended so many times to me. I am asked, this is not me being facetious, I am asked probably at least 30 times a night about Andor. Anyway, again, guys, just know that when I give these takes, this is not an indictment of the content you consume. This is in no way me judging you. This is me making content about being a giga nerd and having full-throated opinions. That's what people want to see. That's what people want from me. They want me to go super ham on opinions. And I think it is good content because, you know, that's what makes the comic book guy.